Hi guys, it's John again here for our YouTube channel. And today, first of all, I want to thank you guys for coming back to me and finding us again. We took a break here for a little while, but we're back and I'm really happy to be back. So hopefully we can continue to provide you with some information that you find useful and will help make you a better photographer as well as a little smarter photographer, hopefully. So today we're going to talk about this right here. This is the newest lens in my kit, in my collection. It's Fujifilm's 90mm f2 lens. It's a 135mm equivalent on a 35mm film camera, which is sort of like how we gauge these things with sensor sizes, which is actually a focal length that I never used before in any format, whether it be with my old Canon stuff, Nikon. I don't use it with any of the film cameras that I use, so it's a little bit different for me. The reason for me getting it is I'm shooting a lot of events now that involve speakers and things like that. So in that sense, I needed something that can give me some reach. And quite honestly, the 50 to 140 2.8, which is probably the one I preferred lens, or the one I actually wanted when I started searching for something that was a little bit longer, it was way more expensive than this. This I think I got for $650, $700 at usedphotopro.com, which I highly recommend. They're great folks. The thing was in magnificent shape. So that's how it ended up in my bag. I normally shoot with prime lenses. In fact, I don't think I have a zoom lens for my Fuji anymore. I don't. I might be adding the 50 to 140 if I end up shooting some more sports, because quite honestly, this is way too slow for that in the focus department. I couple this with an XT2 body with the grip. The firmware updates and everything with the XT2 recently, I borrowed a buddy's and it was fabulous, way better than it was the original incarnation, and that makes it infinitely better than the XT1, which is what I had before, which is still a great camera, but there's a noticeable upgrade for what I do now. If I just was a portrait person, I might actually still have my XT1 along with my X Pro 1, which I absolutely adore. So today we're going to talk a little about this lens and sort of what it's good for. It's a wonderful portrait lens. There's several photographers out there that believe that this might be the best portrait lens in the Fuji lineup, including the 56-1.2. It's roughly the same price. It's got a little bit more reach, obviously. The bokeh is very good in it, although I really don't use it a lot for that. I will shoot this lens at 2.8. I very rarely will go and shoot it wide open. It's sharp wide open, for sure, but I just don't need it, and I don't need that shallow of depth of field with some of the events or some of the things that I actually use it for. It's real durable. In fact, I dropped it off a 6-foot ladder the other day onto a concrete floor, and it's cracked the lens hood a little bit, but the lens itself is in perfect shape, and luckily it actually works still, which is good. So it's built like a tank. It is weather sealed, although like most weather sealed things, I don't recommend you taking a shower with it or a bath, but if it's sprinkling or raining or a little bit cooler than normal or hotter than normal, you can rest assured that this will actually work just fine for you and be able to handle all those elements. This is perfect for people who on a little bit of a budget, which is what I was on when I needed a longer lens, and like primes. And I'm going to tell you, I've used the 50 to 140 before. It was never mine, but I did borrow it for a while and used it, and it's a great lens. If you're coming from full frame stuff or Canon or Nikon, it is not as fast as their 70 to 200. In fact, it's probably not even close. It does not track as well, and it does not, the image quality is just as good or better than any of those lenses, but it's just not, you're spending a lot of money for that in the Fuji realm, in the Fuji world, and you're getting less of a performance of what you might have thought you were going to get if you're coming from Nikon or Canon or any of those manufacturers in their 70 to 200 lenses, which are real workhorses. Portraiture, that's what this is. This is a brilliant portrait lens, and I would concur with people that said it's the best one. I have had the 56-1.2. It's very nice. It's very beautiful, and I think it's probably a really good studio portrait lens. But this, if you shoot outdoor portraits at all, is magnificent. It's long enough, it gives you good separation in the background from the subject and the background. Super highly recommend this lens, especially for the price. When you figure that this is on the high end, $750, if you get one that's absolutely mint now. For many of the normal places, KEHs, who are a little bit higher, but their stuff is impeccably good, the quality. Use Photo Pro, which is what kind of who I would recommend. They're very honest, they're super easy to deal with. I would most definitely add this to your kit if you plan on doing any outdoor portraiture, or even if you're like me and you cover a lot of events. I have not used this at a wedding yet. It's kind of the end of wedding season, so I don't really have that many coming up. But the next wedding that I do have, I will definitely give it a shot and see what happens with it. It's big in relative terms to Fuji lenses. It's one of the larger ones you're going to find, especially if you open it up and have the lens hood. The lens hood out, you can see it's pretty good size, even if you put it on an XT2 or XT3 now with the battery grip, or XT1, I guess. When I used it on the X Pro 2, it was crazy unbalanced and just almost uncomfortable to hold or to carry around. Definitely not made for that camera, although the results are going to be just as good. But for the XT2, especially if you have the grip, it's perfect. But you're not going to hide from too many people with this lens. Having said that, it acquires focus really quick. It's very snappy, especially if you can get into something with a higher contrast situation. It's super snappy. I used it, this has become sort of my workhorse lens in a lot of regard, or a lot of respects. And I haven't really had it that long. And the results have been fantastic. So this is the 90 f2, it's our little 5-minute, 6-minute review of it. It's an older lens, so there's probably a million reviews of it on there, but from a real world standpoint, which is what I try to do with these lenses, with cameras and lenses on this channel, I don't really care much about the technical specs, because I either want to know if I could use it or not. I think that's probably true of most of us. Tell me how it works when I need it to work. So that's about it for today. Thank you guys for tuning in. Please subscribe and like this video if you could, please. And we will be doing a lot more going forward here. We have a video in the works here about basically shooting we shot an entire wedding with an X100F. And I want to kind of show you how that is, just to prove a little bit that we can, you don't have to have 50 lenses to make this work. So until next time, guys, thank you much and happy shooting.